Oh, that's gonna hurt. Is that gonna hurt? That might hurt. What up, everyone? Hey, we are live. This is Weekly Dama News. We are here for another week of the things, the stories within the kendama sphere that you might have missed, or maybe you didn't. Maybe you're here just to nerd out about kendama. Maybe you're here just because you want to have your ear filled with more kendama love and passion that you have, that possibly, sadly, tear for everyone out there who doesn't have kendama homies and a squad, a community around them, because I know you're out there. Maybe I'm talking directly to you. What's up? I'm the host of Kendertainment. No, let's run that back. I'm the host of Weekly Dama News of Kendertainment. Hey, my name's MJ. Thanks for hanging out with me this week. Sorry for the little bit of lateness jumping and creating this. Jumping on YouTube to create this live stream on time, as I was hoping to do so, because I injured my hand pretty badly. Almost, I wouldn't go as far as to say to cripple myself, but it is very, very painful when I use it. I don't know what happened. Well, actually, I kind of do know. I don't know why it happened. I was just grabbing a big painting that I have on my wall, taking it off because one of the kids was about to knock it over, and then trying to readjust it. And as I was holding the shit, for some reason, I was holding, like, I'm just holding it. And then all of a sudden, sharp ass pain goes smashing through my right hand, right through my, when I was gripping it, through my middle finger and my ring finger. And then, like, right away, I like let go. Luckily, the painting wasn't extremely massive and heavy where I couldn't hold it with one hand, because I had to let go with one hand, held it with the other hand, and propped it back up. And was just like, yeah, what was that? That was really weird. Next day, still weird. And this was Friday night this happened. So then all Saturday and Sunday, no, Saturday night it happened. Then yesterday, Sunday, it continued to hurt. And this morning, as it is February 10th in Japan, 11:11. This is the time right now in the morning. Grab the coffee. Cheers for everyone. Yeah, it is still very painful to grip something very hard. Just thought about my hand position. So getting all like the tripods and the camera setup and stuff, every time I go to grip, I'm like, oh no, actually I have to take it slowly, MJ, relax a little bit. Luckily, when you're playing kendama, we don't caveman grip it. If you guys didn't know about the caveman grip, this is caveman grip. If anyone who's listening to the podcast, jump over on the YouTube channel. This is the caveman grip. Now, this is a grip that you might be challenged with when you're having or experiencing a spike off at a competition somewhere, or you're just at a kendama jam and people want to do a spike off, and you're trying to figure out what other different spikes can you do to make it interesting. You're closing your eyes, you're on one foot, are using your opposite hand. Some people will throw in the caveman grip. Now, caveman grip spike isn't bad. Caveman grip down spike, not bad. But when you got a caveman grip, maybe, and this is taking possibly outside of just the spike off, going like around the world with this caveman grip, not fun. Maybe penguin would be an easier bet for a base cup to spike. But anyways, I don't have to so as you see, I'm gripping it right now, and this is totally not Kenda. Is this Dama News? Maybe I'm not like gripping it super hard, so it's not super painful. But the thing with kendama, yeah, you're just lightly choking the ken right under the salado to get a good maneuverability within your handles and your grip. So when you're playing kendama, you can easily just jump here, left, small cup, big cup, base cup, penguin, right? And it's a lot easier to just almost grip with just your two fingers. It's very, very, for all you drummers out there. Or what's another one? Or you're doing that like melted pencil move. Is it working? Probably not. Any case, my hand hurt. So be careful out there, everyone, when you're handling your paintings. This week within Weekly Dama News, hey, quick announcement just before we roll into it. If you are one of the lucky people or a Patreon who has Skull Plane, a mini magazine I don't have one with me. Should have prepped that. A mini magazine. Oh, I got one right here. This is Skull Plane 1 that I brought to EKC. But if you have Skull Plane 2 that Rod was handing out at Battle at the Border, there's a little coupon code in there. And I will be finishing off that coupon for this week. So if you find something that you like on the Kendertainment shop, some merch, go pick something up. That's all I want to say. Weekly Dama news. I only picked up 4 items to talk about, 4 news articles. So we're going to stretch these out, maybe have a little discussion if anyone's hanging out live. What's up? And possibly Q&A if there is time, or if there's plenty of people who maybe have questions for this. Hey, that's one thing that you can enjoy or have the chance to do, is to ask a question if you're joining the live stream, because I want to try to do those more. But of course, we need some people in the live stream over on YouTube to be able to do so. Any case, let's get rolling with the first one. The first one, I'm just going to start with the big one because it's coming up. Malama Dama. Malama Dama is a new event that is happening, created by the Snarkle Rock Minds. And it is something going back to their hometown, which is Hawaii, and a place for waves to be made, a place for new possible champions to be crowned for a fresh version of freestyle. So Malama Dama, maybe you've been seeing it, some posts here and there as it's been growing within like the past probably like year, I believe. There's been little hints about talking about, especially Snarkle Rocks. They've been mentioning it here and there. But Malama Dama has their own Instagram page that you can find. Let me just show you guys right here. Blah, blah, blah. Malama Dama. So they've been posting little by little more and more information about the event. There was one story that I saw that was shared that was a little, what's the right word I'm looking for? Not startling, not disturbing. It's like right on the tip of my tongue, where concerning, MJ, pull it through, concerning, mentioning that there has been some health emergencies within the crew, the Snarkle Rocks crew. So we're not sure what is up, but that because maybe due to this fact, there might be some changes within the Malama Dama event that's coming up, that's happening. And now I talk about this, mention that this is the biggest kind of news that I have, because February 28th is when it's happening. February 28th to March 3rd. Malama Dama is going down on the Big Island, was it? You gotta look at the post again? Or there's a Big Island tour. I'm guessing it's in Hawaii. And it is really awesome to see a fresh version of an event happen, that's going to happen. But again, a little concerning because we weren't sure of what the future is going to hold after that story. If anyone saw that story, you maybe have the same feelings that I have. There was a little hint of what this new event would entail, and that was done over on the Sweets Twitch stream. They did a virtual friendly version of the freestyle competition that was going to happen. They had the different types of judges, or many judges, who were there, and many different selected players who were a part of the freestyle. And they've been mentioning here and there that this freestyle, the judging system, is a new kind of format that's being created to try something new, possibly improve on the past judging formats of kendama freestyle events. And there's been lots of talks. Every event that happens, not lots, but I would say there's definitely one match that happens where the judges go one way and most of the audience would go another way. But it's like such a difficult thing to really like cut and understand, to see what is clearly that makes sense. That's why they're getting these points. That's why that person won. Oh, that's why this one person didn't win. it's really hard to do because our community, the competitions, we've been running them for like 10 years now. We're getting a little older. We're still adolescents in it. So there's still a lot to be learned and just a lot to be tried out. And I think that's what Malama Dama is really pushing, or just trying something really new. And they work together. Snarkle Barks have worked together with MJR, not this MJS, but MJR, Michael Joseph Reeves. Man, we all know his. Okay, and from Kendama Depot, dude, who's been in it for such a long time, providing amazing kendamas, of course, for everyone in North America, especially the East Coast homies. Yo, what up, East Coast? And also just being a part, like being such a crucial part, I feel like, especially in that scene, in the East Coast scene. That they got his input. They worked together to create this new style of judging. And little by little, they've been releasing post by post information about how the judging works. Maybe you caught the live stream over on Twitch, where there was, like I'm mentioning, this friendly version of it where you can see what it was like. And now we have a new version, not a new version. We're coming up to the real version of it happening over in Hawaii. Okay, now even me myself, when I was looking at the posts that were explaining how the freestyle was going to go down, it almost felt like a little too much information. Personally, when I was looking at it, where to the point where I like read it, maybe I'm just dumb, and I'm trying to like reread it. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, but wait, but I kind of maybe I should just rewatch the Twitch stream to see what is happening, to see in it as an example of how it happened in real time. Because I'm the type where I'm like looking at this book of like how to, like an instruction manual of how to do this thing, and be like, okay, like I kind of understand, but there's still like question marks floating around in my head. But when you try to use that item that you have the instruction booklet for, you more hands-on experience can give you a better understanding or grip of what the rules are, how you could use this thing. But, but with that said, this is coming up. There are a lot of people, names recently, just in the past few days, who've been announced as players who will be going to this event. Namely, we got Johnny, we got Zachy, we got Bryson, Jimmy, Jake, and Miguel. Okay, Johnny, Bryson, and Jimmy, I know, are residents of Hawaii. I don't know what island they live on, but I also know that Johnny Cress, Sweet Pro, he is living in the US, or mainland right now. And I've never been to Hawaii, so this is like really cool. And I feel like maybe there's been not a chance for many people to go to Hawaii. So this could be a really good opportunity to pack your suitcases, go on a little vacation, and enjoy a kendama event. With that said, I feel like, man, doing things for the first time is always going to be the hardest, no matter what no matter what it is. If it's getting on a skateboard for the first time, it's pulling up Big Cup for the first time, especially if it's running an event for the first time. Luckily, we have a good amount of community and people who are passionate about this game to send it, if you will, send their bodies over to events, new events, to see what it's like. But at the same time, I feel like it's tough for, maybe it's just the age that we're living in now, where we can get everything through a live stream of some sorts. But to invest enough to go to this new event and enjoy it, that's one thing that I feel like is kind of tough to do, especially in this island state, country, if you will. Because I mean the cultures are so different and everything, but it's a big send. It's a big send, and I feel like maybe some people will have reservations about going, which is it sucks so much for. And of course, I'm just like, maybe what's the word, like projecting, just speaking my mind of what I think can happen because we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe I'm total. I hope I'm totally wrong, and there's a massive turnout. But at the same time, we do know that in 2015, end of 14, 15, there was a massive surge of kendama players and kendama events happening in Hawaii. Okay, this is to the point where no matter where you went, there were kendamas everywhere. There's probably kendamas like littered on the floor. There are kendamas, no kendama signs in like outside of inside restaurants and stuff. Maybe on the outside too, because you can't get inside if there's a wall of kendama players just clicking and clacking. No kendama in schools and stuff. Kendama bands. And like that's how hot it was. That's how well for the adults at that time probably and how annoying it was, but how much of an impact it had then, and it was like all the rave. So I believe that this event, even though I'm not sure how many audience members or players it will draw from mainland or other countries outside of the US to fly to Hawaii to go to Malama Dama. I really hope they do. I mean, I wish that I could. Like, I'm sure everyone's like, man, that would be awesome. Just to be able to go to Hawaii, experience that, and experience a new style of freestyle and support this new event, because at the beginning, that's when it's like really important. But it's also at the same time, the most difficult, getting that support right at the beginning. Unless you're like Nick Stott and Chris June and, dropping a new kendama company and the first drop is a collab with Sulab or something, And then maybe it is not so difficult to get good support from the very beginning. But again, here it's like, yeah, it's a kendama event. And there's not like a product compared to a first drop, getting support backers from an actual product to, hey, a kendama event, come hang out, be a part of. And if you're not one of like the top tier players who will be able to possibly podium, get something really out of it, it's kind of tough to be like, oh, I'm just going to go just to check it out. This is like, just to go check it out. That's my initial feeling when I see and I think about Malama Dama. It looks so cool. So new style of freestyle. And Snarkle Rocks is putting it on. They're known for being very creative, very artistic. Kelly, her creating her illustrations, and then you got like all their crazy, in a good way, tamas that are not tamas. They're like characters, something out of the minds of what is it called? Angry Bird. And I'm excited to see what happens, what goes down, and the trajectory of the event as it moves forward and the influence it has on other events. So that's the main reason why I wanted to bring this one up at the very beginning. Malama Dama. If you're interested, you didn't know much about it, go follow their Instagram account to see what's happening. And right now, as far as we know, the Sweets team has announced that they will not be going to Malama Dama, and so they will not be an official, I guess, not official. I would just say there would not be a Sweets. Yo, is it only me that can't say it right? Sweets. I couldn't say it again. Sweets Twitch stream will not be happening of Malama Dama. So maybe you'll only get it on Instagram on their account. So that's why you should follow the account of Malama Dama. So see what happens. See how the judging works and everything. First story. Bam. Second story. But I'll go with new team members being announced. KROM has released an edit highlighting, showcasing all of their new KROMies that have, I wouldn't say completely new. There's a bunch of people who've been in the mix for a while, who've been announced as, being sponsored players. Toto here, exactly right as I'm saying it, Dylan as well. But sponsored players KROMies, who are on the, I guess you could call a flow team if you guys remember those names. But there's a full edit that has dropped and is out, so send that some love, of course. And it's cool to see it still growing. Krom Kendama. And it's really interesting and makes sense to see a lot of European players that maybe it's just me who haven't been following so much, or maybe it's just 28 Tricks later where you can't see because their feed is so filled and it's like you can't see everyone's at the same time. There's a lot of European players who I didn't know were ridiculously good players until Krom is like, hey, here's our new player. Here's a new player. It's like, whoa, who's that dude? Oh, who's that person? Right, over in different countries over there. And it does make sense a lot because Krom is a European brand. So to have their locals to understand the people in the area and the different communities, I feel like it's a really great match and blend, and it makes sense. You can see it all over the world, no matter what country you're located in. If that brand is from that country, that brand will have the most players of that area from that country and stuff. And it's only a small handful of players who've been selected who are possibly way across the ocean in a different location completely to be sponsored. Like one kendama, yeah, okay, kendama, one kendama. They're a great example picking up Ezra. They're a full French. Oh no, Czech. Do they have other French? What? Hold on a second. Weekly Dama news. Fact checking live. Oh, one kendama. Are they from Switzerland? Okay. Switzerland. Brand from Switzerland. Picking up Ezra. All the way from the US, So, I mean, that's awesome to see. And it's nice to see. And if maybe, is this the first official from Sweets mentioning that, from Krom mentioning that these players are official KROMies. Because like I've said, they've been, it says Krom Kendama, welcome to the team. Like Adrian Vilau, right? Winner of Open for EKC last year. Almost, he was like Krom Euro team squad Romania before EKC, but I wasn't sure about like how much like he was and maybe isn't anymore, but or maybe he still was. Like that whole part of the story is still foggy, but definitely once he won EKC, then it was like he was Krom, like almost like right after the fact. And again, I'm not sure if it was just like more of a reignition of Krom being present in his as a sponsor of his, or they came back. I'm not sure, but that side of the weekly Dama news is the question side that I don't have reporters to help fill out or to fill me in. Pause with the information. But KROMies. Always good to see the Kroms. I love the Kromsauruses, though, old school KROMies. It's good to see. Where are they at, right? What's his name? Misha? Over in LA? Because you don't even know, do you? Okay. One thing that got me excited, we're going to go with this one. Kendama Shi. Everyone, Kendama Shi. Yusuke Ito. If you guys possibly have heard this name before in some past Nerds episode, me and Rod talking about different kendama players, performers, especially here in Japan. Yusuke Ito is possibly like the number one dude who has been a kendama performer, I believe, yes, before Zumadanke was a unit, a kendama performing duo. There was Yusuke Ito, and he has been playing kendama, performing kendama for a very long time in a very traditional style, as well as adding like extra flair of unconventional kendama play, not just like wowing crowds by doing like multiple taps or something, or how many flips or spins. It's more like adding kind of I don't know, just like simple routines where I don't even know how to explain it really, because we're just been so bombarded with what as a kendama player, what is amazing, what's fancy, what's fantastic about kendama play, what really wows a crowd, but that's what wows a crowd of kendama players is so different, that is very surprising and jaw-dropping for non-kendama players. And you possibly have experienced this yourself if you've ever played kendama in front of people out in public, and people are like, "Oh wow, what's that?" They are more understanding and wowed again by just simple like cupping, moshikame, do like baseball a few times and stuff. Maybe use like simple like throwing tricks, right? So get it in the air a little bit, possibly a stall, lighthouses and stuff. Like those are like wow, wow, wow. But once you go into juggles, like multiple single juggles are fine. Maybe that's why I stay with that. Single juggles are completely fine because somebody would understand, like, okay, that went back and forth. Their hand went back and forth, juggling these two objects. But when you go into continuous row of them adding instas and taps, it then all of a sudden turns into a huge amalgamation that word just came out of nowhere of tricks where you're just like, I don't like you even say to yourself, and I've heard people say it, like, I don't even know what happened. And this isn't not in such a good way. I don't know what happened. It's more of like, I don't even know what happened. I'm gonna leave that there and I'm gonna walk away, kind of like, yeah, that was cool, but I'm not gonna look too much into it. That seemed too much, too intense, right? It's like if you go into learning a a kendama. No, no, no. If you go into like learning a language and you go walk into a classroom for the first time, and they're just like going balls to the wall, speaking in that language, and like the classroom, the teacher, and everything, and you're just like dropped into it. You're like, this is a little too much. I don't know if I can keep up. It's very intimidating, and can then turn you off compared to a place where it's a little more welcoming and they ease you into it. That's exactly what kendama play does. Therefore, that's why I'm bringing up Yusuke Ito as being a kendama performer in Japan, because everybody knows what kendama is, but he can still like wow the crowd, and he still keeps the essence. Like usually, dress like his outfit is still like kind of like a yukata kind of, but it's not. It's like more of a mobile version um, of a traditional wear, and he's been on Instagram. I think just I forgot when he joined Instagram, like just possibly like a year ago or less, and he has gathered a huge following. A lot of people have been following him, and rightfully so. And you should too if you want like to see like mastery at cupping. Okay, like how many moshikame can you do? Maybe 50? It's like 100. It's like, why would I do 100? If I could do like 10, I could do 100, times by 10, right? How about 200? Could you? Because JK, Japanese Kendama Association, through the Dawn rankings, you have to get a certain amount of moshikame to be able, as like a requirement to move on. And I think where it's like 500 is one of them, is maybe the highest that you must do. And it's like, it doesn't matter how many you did before. It's like, no, you got to bang out the 500. And I don't think how many people could do that. How hard can you moshikame? Everyone. It seems like an easy task, but after a while, it it's not that easy anymore. It gets into your mind and it gets into your muscles of being like, this is just too much repetition, almost to the point where you start thinking about it. Where Yusuke Ito is just like in the zone. It's breathing for him. Moshikame is breathing and blinking for him. He doesn't think about it. The body just does it, just completely. So the finesse that he has when he plays kendama is really, really like awesome to see and amazing. Any case, so with all of that explanation set down, the highlight that I wanted to the story is him and his son have done many challenges throughout. If you've been following him on Instagram, many challenges. But this one that came out, watch out, Gallagher brothers. Maybe Nick and Zach need to try this out next. 10 cup to 10 cup. Of course, of course, there's no strings on these. Oh my gosh, so he missed one, and then here it comes. 10, boom, to 10. Solid execution from both of them. But of course, I feel like you need even to be like more careful from the toss. No, both are equal parts. Important, definitely. But I feel like the toss is maybe even more. Like, imagine just having that stuff just like go all over you. Like, instead of just like, yeah, oh, half-asses it, and then just smashes him or Yusuke like all over. Amazing. Awesome to see. Has it been done before? I really doubt it. So to see them hit this, and in what, I don't know. I wonder how long this took them. Does it say anything in the description? No. Throw the 10-row kendama behind back. Bam. Oh, so amazing. So if you are someone who does not follow kendama_shi, Yusuke Ito, kendama performer, you must. You need to. This dude is like legend of legend in the kendama community in Japan. He's like Madonna. Does that make any like hold any weight? Possibly not very much. Okay. And then this is my last article that I have. Only, like I mentioned, everyone only got four articles. What's up, Matt? Hanging out in the live stream. What's up? For this episode, Sweets Kendamas having a collaboration with company. Not kendama, not the kendama company, but Sweets Kendama is making a collaborative kendama with company. A company I don't know much about because it's in a genre of music I don't know much about as well, you know? And Dama news, not EDM news. But we do know through following Sweets that there has been a plenty of EDM, electronic dance musicians, DJs, EDM DJ. Oh no, that doesn't sound. I thought that was going to sound more difficult. That has been sponsored by Sweets, supported by Sweets. We got Boogie T on part of the Sweets mob. They have done collaborative efforts with. What was there? Another one. Probably everyone could be like, "Yo, it's that one." There was another one. Any case, there's been a few, and here's another one, and it makes sense that Sweets is continuing to chisel their way into the EDM community because it otherwise has been successful. It's been very great in collecting new people, getting new eyes on kendama, growing this love of kendama, and changing it to be more normalized a bit, be more popular, and especially in the EDM world, where I've heard that there's some concerts where it's like no kendamas. What was it specifically? It was a show at the Red Rock location. Where's that, in Boulder, Colorado? That there were signs that say like, oh yeah, no kendamas in the venue because you can't play. And it's just like Hawaii, right? And there we go. Here's a new grip of kendamas coming out by Sweets, collaborative with a electronic dance music brand, record label, DJ. As I do a little more research, company music, Kyle, brain bust out now. Go check it out. But it's very interesting, and it strikes the question of why the electronic dance music community is into kendama as much as they are. One answer or thought could be, of course, the DJs who are getting into kendama first, then have big influence on their fan base. Okay, okay. But what is it about that DJ who enjoys it? Do we see this in other forms of music? Are there any? And now I know there's players who have backgrounds or still active within different spaces of music, jazz players, classical, players, extreme music. I think the spectrum of musicians who are in kendama is big, but once you look at the EDM side of it, the percentage is huge. Oh, Matt in the live stream bringing another conversation up there because of those light up kendamas. Okay, okay, okay. Disco clubs, dark spotlights, maybe lasers. Like you're at Epcot Center, and then you got someone, and then there's like poi and stuff. There's all this, yeah, totally. So it's like the dance side, which is semi skill based toy or dance. There's poi. There's like maybe like the hooping type stuff. I'm sure all these things can glow in the dark, or you put lights on them, and then it looks really trippy. So this is another ad, Matt. I think you hit it on the head of what really makes it more appealing, where maybe you don't even need to spike it. It's just like, let me just throw it around and spin it around, make this cool pattern and stuff, right? Maybe like contact juggling is another one just popped in my brain. Okay. We'll see what happens. Again, Sweets has been doing a great job focusing and getting a lot of creating a huge fan base within this EDM community. And I wonder if it could spread out to a different side, a different community. It might be smaller, it might be bigger. There's a lot of people who are into different types of like X sports, skateboarding, other types of BMX, inline skates, scooter, right? Is there anything else? Free, what is it called? Free skates. That's also a really small community. And then of course we have like the skill toy variant of the community. Fingerboard, there you go. That's another one. I don't know how extreme that could be. But there's communities out there that I feel like have more of a relationship with kendama, be it the type of way that you can get into kendama, or I should say the way that you progress in kendama can be similar to how you progress or enhance yourself in their own this different type of hobbies that they have. And for some it makes sense. For some it's just like, why would I spend my time picking up a new thing compared to just getting better at this? Like if you're a yo-yo player and you're getting into yo-yo, like you look off to the side, like, okay, there's kendama, that seems interesting, but it's like, I'm already doing this, I'm already yo-yoing, so why would I add something else to my stack of plates to try to balance in my life? So I guess it really depends on the person. And then it could also be the side of something that you do on your downtime. Now, this is a really great example that we know from history. The main person that I'm thinking of being Turner Thorn, ex or past. Is he still? Would he still be? Is there like legend status in Kendama USA? Turner Thorn, Kendama USA Pro of pasts. He got into kendama because he broke his leg, I think it was. I got to go back to the Dominators episode when we talked about him. And he couldn't ski anymore. So he's like, what do I do? I could sit down like just in bed and just sitting down, like just pulling up this ball and cup thing. And that's where his passion grew. So it's like a downtime thing. And that's where I see how, again, Sweets has been focusing on another one. I was mentioning EDM before. Now I totally forgot about Frisbee golf. Is that what it's called? I think it's like against the rules to call it frolf or something. In any case, that's another group where you can see it's makes sense because it's not cutting into their g- frisbee hobby, because during the downtime is when you can pick up the kendama, because you can only do this thing, their sport, in like a large area. Kendama is that one concealed spot where you can just sesh the dama. And that's what had me personally as a past skateboarder growing up skateboarding, of course, having an amazing time. And now when I'm looking at it now to see if I can go out to skateboard and stuff, there are some barriers that come up to place and then can keep you from skateboarding. Then you look over to your desk and you see a kendama and you're like, oh, I could just pick that up right now for like 5 minutes and enjoy this time that I have, this small amount of time. Or maybe it's because I don't know, the internet has grown vastly and we're not just like kids running out in the streets, cutting our knees up anymore. AJ in the live stream says surfers are next. Surfers, I mean, that makes sense. Just like I'm mentioning about skateboarding, if you don't see any like swole waves happening, or swolls and waves, I'm going to the territory I'm not sure about, then what are you gonna do? You're gonna just sit home, do nothing, watch surfing videos, and just like get motivated and then depressed because you can't go surfing. But then maybe you go and skateboard, maybe you go to inside place, um, or you pick up a kendama. And so far, I don't know for what reasons, Sweets seems like they're the only ones that have been really pushing into different types of, or maybe to be successful, to push into different realms of hobbies and communities outside of kendama. I know Chrome has done it a few times with different musicians as well who are not EDM people, but things didn't work out, so they stopped focusing on that type of marketing, if you will, and it's changed up. But I wonder if there's other brands that will work together closely. We see Deal With It, Matt Rice, doing a lot of rollerblade stuff, but the incorporation with kendama and rollerblades, the connection, it doesn't seem like it's like a collaboration so much. It's like Matt does awesome stuff with kendamas, then he's doing awesome stuff for rollerblading, right? The crossover, I'm sure, happens like a little bit, but it's not like a huge collaboration like we see. Here's this big DJs, in the case of Sweets right now, DJs signature model kendama. Wonder what else is out there. Wonder what else is next. Who's going to be stepping in? And hey, AJ, how you're mentioning surfers, Malama Dama is happening. So we'll see if there's anybody getting influence with the surge of kendama players heading to Hawaii to then get back into it. Possibly now, since it's been 10 years since 2015. 10 years. So those kids, excuse me, those kids that were like 12 years old are now 22 years old, trying to figure out life. But hey, maybe they can relax on that trying to figure out life stuff with playing kendama. Or maybe not. Maybe people in Hawaii just have it figured out because it's Hawaii and it's like paradise, possibly. Maybe too many travelers. Ooh, Matt, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, GT. There you go. That's another one. GT had that big collaboration with that butterfly knife company. What is it called? What do they call it? I just called it messing around with my dad's butterfly knife when I was young. Any case, yeah. So there are places, and I feel like it's tough to. There are branches. Trying to figure out. My brain is trying to bring itself back up from the weekend. Gotta get some extra juice and power into my brain to figure out my sentences before I start talking. Are you with me? Bali song. Thank you. Of places where the kendama community and companies can branch out to other facets of hobbies, underground sports, if you will, to I guess bouldering, rock climbing. That's another one. Now that I'm again just talking, it just popped into my brain of these communities who are there don't know about kendama, but how can we like work together to bring something that's cool? Where of course just being in having a booth at an event that's not kendama is really great exposure to see have people come up to try it out and be like, oh, maybe I've seen that online before, or that my friends, brothers, cousins, girlfriend has one or something. Then at an event you could see it at a booth, be like, oh, okay, try it out, maybe pick it up, maybe that's when you need those starter kendamas that are like $20 a pop. But to have a collaborative effort where it's there's passion from the other brand or this other type of underground hobby, skill toy, whatever it is, to then give back to the kendama community. And yeah, we've seen that especially with, if I'm thinking about like Nako, and it makes sense because of Sweets and their him playing so much frisbee golf, and then their companies from them coming over. So maybe that's what it is. Just more communication, more of the kendama community going to those different styles of events and just like showing how much passion they have for kendama, and as well as for that other hobby that they're doing, or what's the other thing? I don't want to say hobby. The more I'm saying it, it feels like a less that it has lesser weight to everyone's lives. Feels like it's because of kendama, how it's become a part of your life. It's for some people, it's become a part of who they are. I mean, shit, look at my room, right? It's like if you didn't know what kendama was and you came into my room, you'd be like, well, what is that? You'd be eager to try to figure it out and find out what it is, compared to if you're someone who just had a single kendama, then you'd see, okay, you just picked up that one and you're trying to figure it out, still not sure if you like it or not. But if you're like this, then you're like, why has this become such a big part of your life? It's not just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. Anyways, everyone, that's it for this week's weekly Dama news. Hey, we got a little bit of time before the hour hits. Anyone in the live stream? See, we got a few people. If you guys have any questions, ask me right now, because as I warm up my hands, and let's see if I could get anything in. If not, then we will just say adieu and goodbye. As I quickly try to figure out, let's see. While I'm waiting, hey, 28 Tricks Later is upon us still. And it's not an easy thing. There's pressure to get something in, to get something done. But at the same time, there is time ticking, and every day. And sometimes that time that is ticking can push you to a fork in the road where it's like, I'm going to spend the rest of this hour that I have in the day to get this 28 Tricks Later entry in, or to feed the kids, to take a shower, to take care of my plants, to walk the dog, right? And then it becomes more of a challenging thing. And for people who are like full-grown adulting is, I guess, that wasn't a word back when our parents were adulting. They were just living. If you are full-grown adulting, then you could see, yeah, it is a tough thing. So I feel you, because yeah, I'm falling back. This past weekend was a tough one. I got only one out, but hey, we're gonna still roll it. We're gonna still roll with it. Oh, we got a question. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Matt, have you tried the Dow Raptor Clear? No, I have not. I'm upset at myself that I have not. AJ, what's your opinion on bamboo Kens or Tamas? Dude, I didn't have one for a very long time, and then I picked one up from Kendama Europe, and I was pleasantly surprised. I really liked the light weight of that it had, and the porous. I guess we would say porous because it's not a tree. It's actually technically grass, right? So I guess it's not a type of wood, is it? It's a type of plant that we're playing. It's the only plant. No, it's not the only plant. No wood. Okay. Any case, it was really cool because yeah, the porous ends of it really like match up well from the Tama to the Ken as well, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I have a natty, by the way. I didn't have a painted Tama, and I feel like a natty would be like the way to go. Um, just because yeah, they like grip pretty well together. Maybe it's just because the humidity that I get here in Japan in the summer times, it's pretty strong. But I was a fan. I was a fan. I didn't buy anything that was bamboo before. I didn't have any inkling of trying to pick one up to see what it was like. But then this one like came. I was like, whoa, okay. Yeah, it is a different feel. Just lightweight. It was cool. Yes, yeah, good for stalls. Good. And again, I feel like the lightweightness of these of bamboos are really great. And for me, along this time when I was getting into kendama, I really didn't care. And then I started thinking about weights, and I kind of liked heavier things, but at the same time, like stalls were good, but I feel like different types of balancing, like lunars and lighthouses, they could be a little more difficult if it's like a super heavy. You have to be really precise, which made sense back in the day when there was not many sticky paints compared to now. If you do have a really grippy, like cushion clear or something, maybe you would want a little bit of a lighter kendama. I don't know. I'd have to do some research, going back and forth and figuring out your certain play style. And that's another difficult thing to say, but you can't say like generally this would be good because everyone has a different style of play. If you're someone who is used to cushion clear paint, then you understand how to catch a lunar, how to catch a lighthouse and not have it topple over. Where if you're someone who's like using slip, just normal, non-grippy paint at all, if you're an OG, if you've been visiting Barnhouse and picking up some JKA Ozoras or something, then you can feel like there's so much slip. And when you go for a one-turn lighthouse, you can feel that your body is getting accustomed, is used to like adjusting right away as it's making contact with the Tama. Where if you try to do that with a example cushion, it is worse to catch that balance because it just topples over. There's no adjusting. Once the Tama comes in contact with that lighthouse on that super sticky paint, you just got to lock in. That's it. And this is when it comes to the advertisement or the how people are always talking about like slip versus stick ratio in different Tamas and paints, and how some people prefer one or the other. And so, yeah, it can be different for everyone. So it is tough to say for specifically like, oh, heavy is good for this, light is good for this. Your Dama play and how you're playing, what you're used to at that time, influences more of how a kendama plays, I feel personally. So I stepped out of playing heavy kendamas, wanting like 80s and stuff. Now I'm like going into like lighter kendamas. I think Sue gave me one like deep ago that was like a walnut that was like 50, like 53 or something, crazy light. And he's like, we can't sell this. And I'm like, well, I'll take it. And yeah, it's like you're playing with like a styrofoam, but I did discover at that time, like stalls, any kind of stall was just like you're landing on nothing almost. And the Tama was the same, super, super lightweight. So I felt it was like a lot easier to do stalls. So you got to test it out, see what you have in your collection. If you have a big one, see, and then like specifically try to do some tricks. Maybe you're working towards an open tricks that are coming at your way, and just figure it out. You might be like, oh yeah, I like this one because it's new, or I feel like it's honed, but it might be honed in different areas than you think it is. So try them out. It's the biggest thing. Play kendama, enjoy it. But hey, that's it for this one. Thanks for the question, Matt, AJ, hanging out in the chat, live streaming over on YouTube. If you would like to be asking me a question as well, hey, join this live stream that's happening every Sunday evening, I believe, if you're located in North America. I'm in Japan right now, so it's Monday morning for me. But I post on the Instagram for Kendertainment when the live stream will happen, that there's a countdown so you can see exactly when it happens. But that's it for this round. Again, one last reminder. Skull Plane. If you have Skull Plane 2, there's a little coupon code in the back specifically for those people who have it. If you're someone who is a Patreon supporter, you can go and I'm putting all the Skull Planes over on Patreon as well, so you can check those out. And there's a little coupon for the merch that we have over on the Kendertainment shop. So pick something up because I'm going to be closing that off, that coupon code by the end of this week. And that's it. That's it. Weekly Dama News. My name is MJ. See you on the next one. And as I always close out with, yeah, have a great day, nerd. Keep it clean.